Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Grand Monday, and you know why it's grand? Because I have here for you a very, very extremely special guest broadcasting all the way from Venezuela. Layla, hello, my darling. Welcome to Radio W.O.R.K.S World.
Hello to everybody that's listening to your beautiful and enthusiastic voice.
So, Layla, tell me, you are right now where?
I'm, excuse me, I have that flow. I'm in Caracas, in Venezuela right now, and it's a wonderful weather and lovely, lovely sky
Wow,
in South America.
So there are people from different countries listening, from different continents. We never had anyone broadcasting from Caracas. So welcome again. And tell us, what is your passion? What makes you sing in the morning?
Make me sing in the morning that I can hear my own voice, meaning I'm alive, and meaning that I have a whole world to enjoy, either the one it's beside me, which is only Caracas, but the whole world belongs because I'm connected to many places, like with different ways. So now, right now, I could be in UK with you.
So you are, my darling, you are in my heart, and I'm sure our listeners are opening their hearts and they can't wait to hear your story. What is your story?
I have so many stories. I would like you to ask anybody that which part of the story they would like to hear. I don't know. Then my story is very long. I was born 54 years ago. Here, there's so many stories, my darling.
So, what is that makes your heart sing?
Well, I work with others. I've been working with other people since 1994. Before that, I was working in myself. Of course, I continue working in myself. So I facilitate beautiful time to hear others, to live some experiences, and to help others to come out their places wherever they are stuck. And whenever I am stuck, I look for people like you or like Viola. So we are all kind of helping each other to simply get out of the place where we shouldn't be at the moment.
So I understand that you are lightening my dark sky, yes? And I'm lightening yours. And together we could bring fireworks in the world. So Layla, I know you have a book inside. What is, who is going to read your book?
I guess the people who would like to be inspired and trust in their intuition and listening to those healthy voices that they come in our mind, because we have different kind of voices in our mind. And I would be supporting the voices that come from your spirit or from your soul, whichever name we want to call it, because there are different voices inside of us, and some of them let us sit or let us do nothing, and some of others voices puts us up in our feet or makes us fly. Those are the people who would like to read the book to be.
Wow, so the book is ready to come out, and I can't wait to be part of your journey, and I'm very, very grateful you thought of me. And I know, you know what, I agree. We have it all. There is nothing we lack. Even most people will focus on what they don't have at the time. But I look at somebody, I look at myself, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I have it all. But what we really have in short supply is inspiration. And I know there is a limited amount of inspiration. Even I'm so happy all the time. I don't need much to be happy. I wake up in a morning and I can't wait to start the day. Sometimes I think, oh my God, it's still 5 o'clock. But even with my attitude, even with my good energy, and I'm very, very grateful for everything is coming into my mind, into my heart, I still have moments when I need more inspiration. I don't know, I need to connect with the grass, with the sky. I need to connect with nature. I need to connect with people. We are social animals, if you want, yes? And it's very, very difficult to feed your soul. So while you might have everything you need to pamper your body or your social environment, it's always something that you need to be a feast for somebody else's soul to feel inspired. And you have to think of yourself as a spring of inspiration that never stops. So what is inspiration for you? What do you take your inspiration from?
I take my inspiration from whenever something is going on in my life, and I might have a plan for it, of course. But as soon as I hear this voice or this, I call it intuition sometimes, I stop whatever I'm doing and I follow that voice. So my inspiration is myself, to be connected with myself. And after I do that connection, and probably other people would read some of the stories, and each one of us, whoever reads it or listening right now, can believe in himself, herself, that what your soul, what your spirit is telling you, you need to do right now. So examples that I could be giving a ride to somebody far away from home, evening, for example. And that idea comes to mind, is like, don't go on. So how can you tell me don't go on if I promise somebody to give them a ride? This is not in my hand. It's simply that I promised and I deliver. So, but what I'm doing is I stop going to that place, but I make sure that this person gets to their home, maybe not in my car, but in a taxi. And then I go back to wherever I started my journey from. And something happens on the way that if that would have happened somewhere away from home, it could have been very dangerous for me. So this is what I'm talking about. Is like when you already have your plan, when you already have your project, when you already have whatever we always have every day, we have so many decisions to make through, to take in the world. But usually I write my project first with probably on paper with a pencil, just in case if I need to do some changes. So this is for me intuition, is you can have a plan, you can have a project, but meantime you trust yourself so much that this will come from inside out, the following step.
Oh, Lala, you know what? I love this, and I love it. I'll tell you why. Because a few years ago when I retired, I decided to stop making plans. Before, I always knew what I'm going to do next, like the next day, the next month. And that I was very good at doing things. You know, I had a very precise to-do list, and I was very good at. But then when I retired and I discovered that I have nowhere to go from there, I had, apart from being useful to others, when I stopped being useful for others, when I retired, so my children didn't need me anymore, my clients didn't need me anymore, I felt like I'm drowning into a very dark place. And you know what? I don't know. We are both young enough to remember those old Kodak cameras when you take a picture and you have to take it to a dark room.
Yes.
So then you develop the picture. Yes. Now it's all digital. It's so much easier. So I felt the same way. I felt that somebody took a picture of me and kept it in that camera for a very long time. I was 51 years old at the time. And then I had to go into this dark room to develop my own colors. So since a couple of years ago of soul searching, of traveling away from home for 1,000 days, It's all to do with my experiences in the last 3-4 years. And I decided that instead of making a plan, I will make myself available for greatness. So I don't make plans anymore. I don't think I'm going to go there today or tomorrow. I just listen to my intuition, and actually it's a judgment call between my instinct and my intuition all the time. So I I don't mind canceling something if I feel it's not right for me to go. And I don't mind turning up somewhere even I didn't plan for it. So
that's because you're listening to your intuition.
yes, so you see, everything changed for me simply because now I feel I'm 55 years young, where when I retired and I was going by the to-do list, now I'm going by the to-be list. I will do it. I will allow myself to be where I belong, with the people I love, with the people who I can help, with the people who could inspire me, or I could inspire them. So I understand what you are saying, and I love it, because I think intuition is the most valuable gift you could make to yourself. Over to you, Layla.
Yeah, well, it's like going back to that doing plan. If I wouldn't have a plan to talk to you today, this miracle that's happening right now live wouldn't be happening.
Yes, I tricked you.
Somehow I believe that many people, many groups, many teachings, they tell us flow. But one time I thought, if I would be God, which I am a goddess, but if I would be God and I wanted to help others, which one it's easier to help? To start giving whoever needs, whoever is clear with what they want. So then I will have plenty of time to deal with the ones who have no idea what do they want. So to flow, it's great to have an idea of what you want, and then the flowing will go on that way, or the opposite way. But at least we have a we have a finger up in the air, and then we can feel.
And now we have our voices in the air. So you see, Layla, I'm thinking that some of our listeners might think, what they're talking about? I believe in man's logic. Humans got logic, they have to use it. But what if intuition is the true logic?
Well, could be, because it depends how have you, I think either logic or intuition, is like another step where first you have to trust yourself. When you trust yourself, that could be logic, which you believe in your logic and you follow what it says to you, or you believe in your intuition, or you believe in whatever is making you go here and there, and just to be present at the moment that things are happening. So whatever is going on, it's simply starting from trust and then going to whichever name we want to give it. Logic, intuition, being present and aware of where consciousness is showing me, what consciousness is showing me, what I'm present to see and to smell and to hear. I have so many different channels where I can get information and give information to.
So you are saying that intuition is actually like a new formula for a new perspective, a new paradigm, if you want, to conquer your fear, because we are created with this need for comfort, for certainty. And of course, that's the greatest enemy of creativity, of moving beyond what you think is what you know, moving into the unknown. And for some people, it could be a reason to ignite their creativity and just grow into the person who can deliver their life purpose. But for some other people, it could be truly scary, thinking, oh my God, I don't want this. I want confidence. I want to know what I'm doing. But what they leave behind is there a chance of being? Because after all, we are human beings, we are not human doings. And to do is just a matter of keeping yourself focused on something at a time. But that doesn't necessarily mean you are not allowed to be. What do you think?
It's very well explained. I think our work, each person, the first thing to do is to realize what we are. So I realized that I am a very nice woman, very nice human being who enjoys life, who enjoys people, who allows herself to learn, then to get this learning into my own experience. And whenever I have to pass the information or teach other, they are coming out of my mouth, out of my experience, even though I didn't invent or created such a thing I'm teaching or I'm writing. Many people say the wheel already has been discovered. So how come we are discovering the wheel every day in our life? It's because we need to live, we need to experience, and out of our life and our experience, the rest of the thing will come out of us like they are ours, not like I took it from somewhere else.
Yes, so you are saying that the only dreams we can dream are the dreams we dream awake. And you are saying that this awakeness, this awareness lead you to experience your own truth, your own goodness, your own beauty, your own love, and your own compassion, your own kindness.
I'm saying also that we can dream when we are sleeping. It's not wrong at all. But when we are awake, it's great that we could even write our dreams, or sometimes we remember them, sometimes we don't. But it is very interesting. Our dreams are valuable either if we are sleeping or when we are awake. The awakened dream can take us very far, and the sleeping dream can make that farness secure. It's like I know what's going on in my conscious, but if I take care of my dreaming while I'll sleep, I take care of my unconscious.
You see, I love what you are saying, and I discovered the same because while I was focusing on my to-do list, which was easy, was very simple. Wasn't easy, but looking back now, I'm thinking, yeah, that's easy. You make a list of things to do and just go for it and tick the box. But then I was always focusing on what other people want. My to-do list was always, absolutely always about others, to provide them for them, or to service them, or whatever the case might be, my children or my clients. But I never thought of doing something for myself, like writing a book or meditating, or so is when I've been left with nothing to do because I retired and I had a very good life. And I know most people think, oh, you had a good life, what is to complain? Well, I was dying. I couldn't leave my bed. I couldn't walk. So when I was left with nothing to do, I was left with nothing. So everything I've been working for was not relevant, because I realized that as long as I'm useful to others, I mean something. The moment I'm not, I mean nothing. So
of course, you discovered that this thought nowadays is not the real thought you have to live to.
Exactly. So now I remember that at the time, I always thought about what other people think of me. But since I awakened into this, my new life, which is my real life, my real reality, I think everything else was just like a joke. Now,
or everything else was like the 51 steps to get you to this 55 beautiful life you're living.
Yes, and you know, Layla, I don't care what other people think of me.
Definitely.
I really don't give I don't care. And I feel that is none of my business of what other people think of me. My only business is what I think about myself.
Yeah, but see, in the world, Marina, there is so many people that they are still doing the kind of to-do list you used to do. And to these people, in order for them to open up and to reach so many things beautiful that you and me and so many are living, it's like, what about if you include in your to-do list joy? If you want to go and have a workshop on the weekend, write it on to-do list. If you would like to go to the movies, write it on your to-do list. If you wanted to see a friend, write it in your to-do list. It's not only to do to please others, but to be pleased yourself. So to-do list has two sides. Could be really necking you off, getting you tired, reaching to please others, or simply it reminds you that who is important here is you, and you will be happy if you pay your taxes, for example. So this is in your to-do list, but also you will be happy if you are on live program with Marina, or if you take a trip to Caracas and stay a couple of weeks in Layla's house. It has to be in your to-do list, your life. So either remember living it, or you can write it down. So it will be to do and to live and to be and to enjoy. And simply is life.
You see, because being in London, you have to deliver a lot of results. Like each month, you have to pay your mortgage, you have to pay your commitments, and all that. Yes, so it's not everywhere is the same, but especially in London, you really don't have time to think for yourself. It's always thinking what is expected of you, which makes you live somebody else's life. Actually, the one that people expect of you, not your own. So I think what you are saying is okay to build up the courage to follow your heart and develop your intuition and listening to those voices, because they are coming to you simply because they are designed for you. If dreams weren't, if you weren't ready to turn a dream into reality, that dream won't be given to you. And this is why I'm passionate and I'm obsessed by reuniting people with their own passion. Some people think, I don't have a passion, I just have a job. But the reality is that you do have a unique talent. You do have a certain craft, and it's your job. It was given to you at birth, and it is your job in this lifetime to master it and bring it into the world, and make it better. It is your divine job. It is your moral job, if you want. So that's why I'm looking at the world as if it's this huge puzzle with millions and millions, actually 7.4 billion pieces. And if you are not out there making the difference, lighting somebody else's sky or lighting your own sky to help others and help yourself to grow into a person who can live your life with purpose, means you are the missing piece. And I feel, Layla, that our job is to turn the missing pieces into the masterpiece.
That's lovely. Definitely. Yeah, I think also this goes that way. And then sometimes I used to think that there is time for everything. But sometimes the time comes, but the person think that is not ready. But again,
that's an excuse, no?
Of course, but then there are people in the world that shows you that this is the time. When is going to be another time?
Right now.
Of course. So this is the beautiful opportunity to just write your stories and to let whoever wants to read them to read them. But it seems like it's like each era had something important. Okay, and I haven't lived all eras, but at some point it was important to have your hair such style. Okay, and then at some point it was important when we discovered all this health about the exercise, the good food, the good thought, the meditation, the not stress, but the relaxation. Okay, so each era is teaching us something, and each era is leaving us with something for the next. Doesn't mean that everything I did in my past, everything I accomplished is still with me. It still is helping me. Whatever I learned and I took it for myself, it's still working for me. So I understand now for everything I'm looking at, that it's the era of expressing yourself, and the way you have come to be, it will be fantastic just to share it with others. And it will be some people that can make a difference with that book, or with that ebook, or with that whatever, but it has to be written so others can be reachable.
So in other words, I think from what you are saying is that each one of us got the wisdom because you got your own experiences, you went through all these feelings, and is that instinct, and it's almost like the gift of knowing before you know it, the gift of knowing without reason. And you are thinking what you know, and you think could help me, I want to know. But the problem is that most people think, oh, I know nothing, because they've been socially conditioned to think nothing of themselves. They've been conditioned to feel average. But remember, when you were children, everybody was, oh, she's such a bright child. I remember I was writing poetry when I was 5, and everybody would say, oh my God, she's so bright. And then when I got married, nobody thought I'm bright anymore. I had 3 children, and I was a normal person, whatever normal means. And what happened to that brightness? And now I'm thinking, I always think that child never left me. And it was just me trying to kill that child, just to be normal, just to be average, just to be standard, trying to please others, where in fact, that child was within me all the time, and I should just allow it. But it was so much demand on my resources, energy-wise, time-wise, as an adult, to deliver all this mortgage each month, all this whatever I had to deliver all my adult life.
Correct. Very correct. Now you touched something interesting here, because before I used to say also things that I have done, I shouldn't have done them. But nowadays, every time I look back in my life, and I have done many beautiful things, but I also have done, wow, no way, good things. Nevertheless, those that I may say they were good, or they were bad, or they were medium, this is my own opinion. And this girl, that when she was 5 years old writing poems, what do we think? If she would have grown only writing poems, she would have been known as a poem writer. She would be famous for her writing and for her poems, and she would have a lot of admirers, and she would be teaching and everything. But probably this little girl also was smart, not only to write. This is not only her good to give to the world. So she stepped on a side for a few years, maybe too many. It depends on who's listening to us. And then it gave permission to other things to happen. And at some point, she had the assurance, or she had the conviction to come back at 52 years old, like you did, for example. For some people, this is probably late, but for some others, it's not. Because I know many people that are 95 and they're still writing.
And you see, Layla, I'm thinking now that what happened since I developed my own colors, I learned to accept myself for who I am. Or before, I always tried to please somebody else. It's never been about me. And now I embrace my truth and I endorse my own vision. I don't need permission from anyone. I have an idea. If it's big enough, I'm going for, and I'm going all in. I don't need anyone's approval because I know I have a job to deliver. And most people who create, they create, and nobody knows. And my job is to, twist their arm and make them deliver. Doesn't matter it's on air, is on a book. Connects you with eternity, makes you start building your legacy. Because what's the good of a legacy if you're dead? You have to leave your legacy. You could inspire people to be more, to give more. Because at the end of the day, life is not about go and get. Life is about go and give. Give your gift, that place that you have so abundant with your talent, with your thoughts, with your kindness. That's all the world needs to heal. And I think the world as it is far from perfect. And yet, people are waiting for somebody else to deliver the goods. And I'm thinking, what's holding you back? The world is waiting on you. Why would we delay for another hour? Why we need to wait for that perfect moment? Why we can't take this moment right now like we did, Layla? As unprepared as we were, we had no prep, we had no interview rules, we had nothing. We just start a great conversation about your passion, which is intuition. And I know the book that is coming out is coming from your heart. It's going to reach so many people's hearts, and everybody will feel the need to go out there and share. Layla, I really, really believe that the secret of living your life with purpose is sharing the good news. You, for me right now, you are the good news. You are the most amazing news.
That's correct, because this is our present and this is what's going on. So if we take each thing that happens at the moment as our most beautiful gift, that's what's happening. So it will be these inspirations for me and for others. It has to continue. So it has to continue either on the book or the Facebook or on the interviews. And it's the way, it's the time, it's the era.
And I think
it's not the only person that is wanting. Before they used to say you have to have a baby, you have to plant a tree, and you have to write a book. And I did plant a lot of trees, and I did bring a lot of babies to the world, because one of the things I also have done in my life is being birth coach. And but the book, I always said, there's so many books in the world. Oh my God, another book. What about if we just go on the world and talk about it, and people would be there to say hello and to say goodbye at the end of the talk? But it's not real. I cannot be everywhere talking about those experiences. That could happen after the book.
Wow. Layla, thank you so much for your courage to share your thoughts, your heart, your beautiful soul with us and our listeners. And I can't wait for the next show. Let's call it the Intuition Show. And
I think inspiration, more than intuition, for me,
is inspiration. Yes.
More intuition than is more inspiration than intuition.
So let's call it the Inspiration Show by Layla Edward. Until next time, from both of us is goodbye.
And maybe I will interview you then.
I would love that.
Thank you, Marina, for your time and for your lovely show.
Thank you so much, Layla. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.